Hey guys, Chris here again from Sienci Labs. Today I'm going to be making a short video showing you some of the new work we've been doing in gSender because I'm pretty excited about it. Now, a lot of you guys like using gSender, whether it's for our machines or for even third-party Gerbil or Gerbil machines, because we spend a lot of time on the interface. We try our best to make it the most usable sort of interface that you can have to your machine for jogging, sending jobs, stuff like that. And we kind of hit a bit of a snag with the gSender development where the code we were using was slowly getting more and more out of date. And so we decided we would lump it all together, rehash the entire code base essentially, and in the process make a new interface. This is going to be the new platform that we build off of moving forward. And right now, this is in what's called our edge phase. And so what edge is, if you never used it, basically it means that we are making a version of the software available to the public for a public beta testing period. And we've actually gone through, by the time you're seeing this video, there will be 5 cycles that this has gone through, 5 major revisions. And basically, we needed your help. We've got this out there. And our intent is to get more people using it so that we can get feedback on if anyone's having any issues with it, if you have any suggestions for improvement. And so today I thought I would put together the video to show you roughly some of the new stuff that we've done, give you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what you might be looking at when you're trying out this new interface. And hopefully it'll motivate some of you to go check it out, download it. You can download gSender Edge separately from the regular gSender, so it has its own settings and it can run independently. Give it a shot. Give us feedback on our forum or send us in a ticket or something like that. And then hopefully in another month or so, we can have this as the new version of gSender available to everyone and we can all benefit. So one of the first things you're going to notice about this new interface is it looks a little bit different. It's got a new coat of paint on it. But there's a lot of the basic fundamentals that are still the same. You can see I can jog my machine. I can have my tabs on the bottom for probing or for running macros. I've got the ability to load a file here. I'll actually load a recent file that I've loaded up already. And there you go. I got my little tree here. We've just done a couple things here to make it a little bit more user-friendly. For instance, one thing that we got feedback on about the previous gSender design is sometimes people would, for instance, hit the 0 button when they meant to hit the go to button. So as you can see, we've got our zeroing buttons, our go-to buttons. We've separated these so that these aren't as weird for you to accidentally press one or the other. And so you can see I can do a little bit of jogging and then I can go back to it, or I can jog and then I can set 0 and then I can jog a little bit more and go back to that. So that's kind of a nice setup. There's a lot of other small things that we've put in here. We've put, for instance, the access to the remote mode for jogging. It's really accessible here. You can quickly go to your shortcuts, for instance, for the keyboard. And I don't have a gamepad with me right now, but you can quickly go to your gamepad shortcuts as well. There's some other pretty nifty things that we've done about this. We've actually restructured the whole way that settings works in gSender and made it a new tab that we're calling config. So we've now got this little side tab here, and this can kind of take you to a couple main areas when you're dealing with your machine. We've got the carve screen, which is kind of the main interactions that you're having. We've got the stats page, and this is kind of giving you information on the health of your machine, how many jobs you've run, and how to get feedback on doing some troubleshooting or sending that information into us or anyone else in the community. We've kind of got our tools page here, which are like additional bonus features that gSender offers, and we're hoping we'll expand that into the future. And then we've got our basically settings page. We've called it configuration. One thing that I think is really cool about this is that this is now grouped up based on the functionality of your machine and anything related to that function. So let's say it's probing. I can just click probing down here. It'll take me down to the probing screen. And this is changing both the gSender settings for probing, so what we display on the screen for probing, but also your machine's settings for probing. So for instance, like how fast does it probe? What is the probe pin doing? That sort of stuff. And you can kind of see that on the screen here. We've got these little chips, which means that it's a firmware setting. If there's no chip, it means it's a gSender setting. And also if I wanted to, I don't have a probe plugged in, but if I wanted to, I could tap continuity on my probe and see this little light go from red to green to check that the probing is working. And we've got this set up for basically anything you can imagine. We've got even the jogging built into the configuration here, so you can change your settings and then check that you're jogging correctly. And we've also got little wizards put in there so that you can calibrate your steps per millimeter, for instance. So this is all easy now to look through. A single place that you can change any setting. You can do a global search through any of those settings. You can check through the global menu for any of those settings. And so I think that's pretty cool. I also wanted to quickly highlight the stats page, where you can kind of get, this is like our dashboard of how your machine's been doing. We'll show you the jobs you've been recently running, whether you've got any maintenance upcoming, and we'll also be showing you how you can go back towards getting support from our community or from ourselves. So everything's available here, and then it's got sub-pages that you can go into that breaks up the information even more to give you more detailed information. For instance, I can make new maintenance reminders if I have a specific machine. These ones are kind of the default ones we've stuck in there for now, but you can go in and edit these and change the timing on them. Anything you want, essentially. The last thing you've probably noticed is we've really prioritized making this new redesign touchscreen friendly. And the reason for that is because we've obviously got our G control panels, but also we've got the remote mode for gSender so you can use it on your phone. And so we've gone through some redesign to make it all a bit larger and easier to touch on the G control screen panels, as well as on any other device that's touch friendly. Of course, if it's not touch friendly, that's still fine. If it's easy to use on a touchscreen, it'll be easy to use with a mouse and a keyboard. Another part of that redesign is that we've actually taken the time to make the elements on the screen a bit more responsive to different screen sizes. Now, if you download it right now, you might still see some clunkiness with that. We're going to be making sure we refine that further. But we are working on, for instance, a portrait mode version so that if you have a monitor portrait style, this will work in either portrait or landscape. And also, if you open up your phone, there's going to be a lot more functionality that you can access through your phone. One of the other cool remaining features I wanted to point out is that we actually also have made it so that by default we can recognize the firmware of the board that you're trying to connect to in gSender. So you can see when I open this up here, it's just listing the board, but I don't have any option to check the firmware. And basically I can just click it and give it a sec, and then it'll figure out that this is actually a super long board that I'm running with Gerbil HAL. Whereas if it was a regular Gerbil board, it would figure that out too. And that was like a small change that we wanted to make just to improve the ease of connection. Down the line, we're thinking of even adding in machine profiles so that in the long run, you can kind of select what machine you're planning to connect to. It'll have all the settings pre-configured for it, and potentially we'll have it set up so that gSender specific settings could be changed on a machine-by-machine basis. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little walkthrough here, and I hope that gets you a little bit excited about checking it out yourself. Remember that we're still open to any feedback, and so if you think that you want to see a certain feature in here, or if you like the sound of anything I mentioned today, then please let us know in the comments that you're watching this video in so that we can get that feedback, or send us in an email or anything like that. If it doesn't make it in by the time we move this to the main version of gSender, then we can still always add it to the list of future improvements that we're going to make. As I said, this is kind of a platform that we've remade so that we can build upon it in the coming years to make gSender continue to be a very reliable and easy to use piece of software, no matter what CNC you're running it on. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.